To all my friends and not so friends at the park. I'm going to mention some people by name, and I'm going to explain why this channel will be streaming at Speaker's Corner today, so you can enjoy all the fun of the park. I hope the weather's good over there. It's nice weather out here. I should get out in the sun. I'm going to be allowing someone who wants to boost his subscribers. His channel is called The Prostate Protestant. Now, I don't endorse the channel, but I don't oppose the channel. There's stuff on there I like. There's stuff I don't like. Please consider subscribing because he wants to do some live streaming. I'm asking him to go round all my friends and not so friends and say, hi from James. Do you know what I mean? Because he's tying himself to this channel by using the live streaming facility. And, you know, the funny thing is, I mean, I'll give a bit of praise to young Bob. And also strongly advise him to go away and do some schooling before he basically gets into conversation. Because his debating skills are pretty good. But the trouble is he debates nothing. I mean, God, I would have been far less restrained in front of the terror supporters. But there again, I've been on Stop the Hate rallies and he hasn't. His support for Israel, in my opinion, is lukewarm, as are all the Bobites. And Bob himself said, Britain doesn't owe Israel anything. Well, that's actually wrong. We're actually responsible for managing the mandate. It was not colonialism, it was a mandate. So that's a real shame. So hi to young Bob. Please stop slandering people and please actually read your Bible and the people you're hanging out with. I dropped the C-bomb on somebody. Now, Doctor Who won't be too impressed, but I'm sorry, I think the C-bomb is acceptable in some circumstance. So this utter toe rag calling himself ambassador for Christ. Because when I posted in the group, which is basically a who's who of Bobites, and I've got all their numbers now, I said there's no such thing as a Christian nation. Well, there's not. And what? So you arrogant little prick. You think just because I don't give a shit whether you chuck me out the group or not. I'll say it to your face. Come on my channel and explain yourself. I don't think you're a Christian. I'm not saying that out of hatred. I don't want anyone to go to hell. You know? I mean, this is just ridiculous. This Christian nationalism is getting out of hand. And that's why I said something on my channel yesterday with the fake prosperity preacher called Ricky Doolan. Because he runs a church and it's apparently the millionaires branch. Really? You mean when Jesus said to the rich man, please sell everything you own and give it to the poor and come follow me? That's not going to go down so well at the Spirit Embassy fake church of Tottenham. And I actually met one of the ex-members of that church who said it's fake. There's no move of the Spirit going on there. I mean, what? There's a thing where the pastor was like telling some woman what she had in the fridge. Well, you know, A, knowing how bad those people are, they've probably been in a fridge, or B, you know, demonic spirits can actually operate. You know, the Bible says there is a demonic and there is a angelic. But anyway, that's a hi to Mr. Ambassador for Christ, and also to Joel and Max. You know, to seriously consider who you're hanging out with here. Yeah, there is no such thing as a Christian nation. Also, one person has said they don't like the hostile arguments with the Islamists down there. And, you know, a quick hi to the Islamists like Sam Dawa and, oh God, I always forget his name, but a big hi to Sam Dawa and smile to Jana Jai Hind. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, I had a friend send me the apology video I made on Sam Dawa's channel. Well, I still stand by that. I don't think you should use insulting words to Muslims. And the thing is, I hold Muslims to a different standard. They've been brought up, you know, with this stuff. They've learnt this stuff by and large as a child. I don't agree with them. I've said in the future, I will just quote your book, ask questions. But no, I don't agree with Islam. But I think there is a way of going about it. I also believe there are models in which kind of law and order can be restored to Britain but one of those is how do we deal with people going online and listening to extremist imams, but sadly extremist pastors. And the extremists on my own side calling out the bad eggs are the people who are banging on about crusades, like Bob. Now, I mean, JC is one of the big idiots down there. You know, you go up to JC, you go, well, JC, crusade, all right? JC's like, like this. But, the crusades were a total disaster. The first one involved papist soldiers going into Jerusalem, slaying Jew, Muslim, and Christian alike. You tell me if that was from God. It wasn't from God. Yes, there was wrong stuff going on in Jerusalem, for sure. The Byzantine emperor, because they were actually the Roman Empire moved to Constantinople, and they did appeal to the Pope for support defensively. The First Crusade established 4 crusader kingdoms, which basically there are mixed bags, but during the First Crusade, I found this out on my anti-Semitism course, they were actually being told by the papists that if they slayed a Jew, that would be saving their soul. The Crusades were fundamentally anti-Semitic. Stop going on about them. That's why I believe that any Christian who starts to say, oh, let's have a crusade, A, you're unchristian, unbiblical. B, it's a sign you're probably not even a Christian. C, all you do is empower radical Islamists. And D, you upset our beloved Jewish community. And I'm sorry, I think people like Maya Tuzi and possibly even Tommy, because I've still got to talk to somebody about this matter. That's not even the worst. I've basically pushed Doolin up there, Mr. Goldfinger. And okay. Yeah, I know Al Jazeera is a toss-up, which is worse, that or the BBC, but the camera doesn't lie. The camera doesn't lie. So big hi to all my Islamist sort of frenemies down there. I'll be back with my India flag soon. You probably weren't so happy about that one, guys. But no, a big shout out to Dr. David. I'll try to stop calling you Doctor Who. John, say hi to you, my cowboy friends. And anyone else down there, you can come and say hi. If I'm actually I may not actually be on my live stream typing, but, have some fun. And please consider subscribing to the Prostate Protestant because he wants to do a podcast and he also wants to stream at the corner. I mean, okay, I know life is boring. I know Speaker's Corner is boring without me, but I'll come back one day. It is like I think that season has kind of passed. I mean, Bob's looking happier for a start, because, I mean, the thing about Bob is that, people say, by the way, Bob's married. Male or female? Who's the lucky person? I mean, you should bring her down the park. I mean, God, Bob, if I pulled and got married, I'd be bringing my other half back down the park. I mean, come on, Bob. Yeah, the idea I got a crush on Bob. It's so funny. But no, I mean, the biggest hypocrite of all, of course, is Bob, who basically runs from me and he runs from Doctor Who. I mean, maybe Doctor Who should have a little bob around Bob. Do you know what I mean? Bob just looks terrified because he knows in Dr. David, he's someone who genuinely knows the Bible. I mean, I don't go down there to preach the Bible. I went down there for various reasons, which are now apparent, because basically a Christian pastor friend said that my trick that I was waiting to do was ungodly. But I'm sorry, there are serious questions about the funding. And I've got more to come about this turning point. UK? I mean, they're doing difference in the UK. What, you mean form a fascist gang on me? I mean, that was just hilarious. I mean, I went to the Charlie Kirk Memorial shouted out, "You're not Charlie Kirk, you're a fascist" at Nick Tenconi. And then he just obliges and proves that he is a fascist. Now I believe Bob is a fascist. The reason why is because he's invoking crusade, and he's talking about Christian nationalism. He's talking about forming political parties for Christianity. That's completely wrong. And while the history of Mussolini, Hitler, and the various churches is a little bit more complicated, it's taking this country back to a time which we need to learn from. And he's also essentially giving rocket fuel to the leftist extremists because, they're still going on about Cable Street. Well, now we have a situation where Cable Street they've forgotten that lesson because most of our anti-Semitism, about 90% of it, is now coming from the left. But the thing is, the reason why I've got this channel, two reasons. One, to stand up for India, and two is to stand up for the British Jewish community, and to also identify what I believe is a certain need to... obviously, Israel invited Tommy Robinson, their decision. I'm not sure that was the best idea, but the content from Tommy was very, very good. Now I am drawing attention to some of the stuff that is going on within the so-called Patriot movement. And the first thing is Crusade. Stop mentioning them. They were a disaster. I mean, the Third Crusade, by the time of the Third Crusade, the Islamic Caliphate had regrouped. They drove the Crusaders out. That is a fact. And then, the Fourth Crusade, instead of going back to Jerusalem, they sacked Constantinople. And then Bob goes, "Oh, the Pope excommunicated all of them." Where's your logic there? Of those people who went on the Fourth Crusades, they were obeying orders from the leader who went and asked them to sack Constantinople, and that pretty much finished off Constantinople. So the Fourth Crusade actually aided the Islamic Caliphate. Please stop talking about the Crusades. And then, of course, there is ample historical evidence that the fact that the Caliphate was able to regroup, they were able to resist Genghis Khan's invasion of Arabia. So anyway, I think that's about it. Hello, everyone. Laser will be live. Whenever my friend gets there, I'll be having words. Adios.